Welcome back to another Crypto Warehouse OG special. I know, the second one in 3 days. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the excitement of the bull run is getting to me. However, this is an important video and one that I think I should spend 5 or 6 minutes making because it's easier to answer to everybody than to answer to one individual. Now, one of the Crypto Warehouse family has asked me a very, very sensible question. Should you be selling now and waiting for a pullback? A very, very good question. Thinking about selling at these times is the best thing to do. Not selling your entire bag, of course, we're at the beginning of the bull run, but thinking about selling is what you should be doing. We spent 6 weeks, 4 weeks on the channel telling you to have your bags packed by the end of September. Why? Because October, November, December, in the year of the halving, is a solid time for Bitcoin and the alts. They pump, okay? Matthew Hyland has drawn a chart that shows you the last 3 cycles and the last 3 months of this year. If they follow what we have seen, then we're going to see some numbers that even I am not going to mention on this channel. So this is the bull period, okay? This is the period where we go up in time. Now, there's some things you need to bear in mind. I am not suggesting you sell any of your bags right now. We've just had the election in America, interest rates are coming down, inflation is under control, wage inflation is under control, and the housing market is cooling off. All of these are big green ticks. And of course, we know from Jerome Powell, he cannot be sacked by Donald Trump, but Gary Gensler can. And overnight, the news was that Gary Gensler is more than likely going to resign before he is pushed. So bullish news. And if you are a member of the Crypto Warehouse OG family, you will know about my video that I have made, Donald Ducks. Okay, back to the point and the case in hand. Should you be selling your Ethereum? Should you be selling your Solana right now? Now, I am not going to give you my opinion. I'm going to tell you what the charts are saying. And the charts are saying this: if we follow the previous 3 cycles, we will have a run-up to the end of December, okay? And that run-up is likely to include the odd day where we see a correction to the downside. 5% here, maybe a 10% down over the course of a week or two. But we're not going to see, I don't think we're not going to see a 30% pullback. Let's take Ethereum. Ethereum is $3,000. A 30% correction to the downside from where we are now would be $2,100. Do I think that's going to happen? No. $4,000. Do I think we could pull back from $4,000 to $2,800, $2,900? Yes, I do think that's on the cards. Now, this is a time-based scenario that I'm talking about here, not a price. I'm just giving you some examples of where we are now and where we could pull back from and to. Now, Solana is an easier number for me to go through in my head because it's $200. If Solana goes to $250 and it pulls back 30%, that goes to $175. If it goes to $300, we go to $210. Now, my price prediction for the end of this year is $300 for Solana. But everybody expects crypto to go into the new year in a bullish frame of mind. And that's when you get caught out. We have the January blues, the post-New Year blues, where we do have a slight retracement after the Santa rally in the stocks and crypto's had its run up. So my scenario is very simple. If we base on the previous cycles, we're going to continue to go up over the next 2 months from now until somewhere near the end of December. And then I think we have a cool-off period in January. Not too dramatic, but a cool-off period. Now, we have moved up a long way, and that's why you have to take charts out of the equation. Okay, you can look at charts to see patterns and see prices and all of those kind of things. But when you start to look at the RSI in the bull run, it doesn't really work. Okay, it does work over a long period of time, yes, but on the daily, the 4-hour, the 8-hour, the 12-hour, whatever you use, it's very difficult because it will just keep pumping. We've gone from 76 to 80,000 in a few hours, and then we've retraced back to 79. It's crazy times. And if this is the first time you've been in the bull run, this is what it's like. It's crazy times. At this moment in time, we are doing nothing unusual. This is not out of the ordinary, okay? What was out of the ordinary was hitting an all-time high before the halving. That was out of the ordinary. But we've done that. We can put that down to the ETFs. We can put that down to more institutional adoption than we've had in previous cycles. But I do think we're going to have another 30% corrections between now and next October, November. When they're going to be, however, if I had to pick my 3 corrections, I would go for January to February time. I would look at possibly a summer lull. That could be May or June, and then maybe one in September before we then go on to all-time highs. They would be my 3 30% corrections. But the price it corrects from, that's the issue. If it corrects from $300 on Solana, that's $210. Well, that's where we are now. So if you sell today, you're not likely to get back in. If it only goes to $250 and you sell, it will go to $175. You've made a profit. So at the end of all of this, it's your decision. Should you go and start to take profits? Well, my answer is this. If you want to take some cash off the table, take 10, 15, 20% off the table. Then if we do go on to $300 or $4,000 for Ethereum, you've still got cash on the side, but you've still got 90% of your portfolio still in the game. It's not a bad thing to take money off the table. In fact, it's the thing you should be thinking about doing between now and November. That's why I was so happy to be asked the question. We wanted you to have your bags packed by October. We've said that. If you've done that, now is the time to plan the next 12 months. How do you get out? Are you going to sell this pump? Do we get rejected from 80,000 and come back to 74? Do we get rejected from $200 on Solana and come down to 150? Or do we keep going and then top out at 90 to 100,000 at the end of the year for Bitcoin and top out at $300, $350 for Solana and then retrace next year? That's your decision. Based on history, now is not the time to sell. Based on the start of this post-election honeymoon period, it's not the time to sell. But everybody is different. If you've got $10,000 worth of Solana and you sell $1,000 today, and we do go on a parabolic run, you've still got 90% of your skin in the game. I sold this week. I didn't sell a lot. I sold some Crow. I mentioned it in one of my videos. Why did I sell the Crow? Because I've held it from 5 cents and it went up to 12 cents. And I sold it, and that's now going to pay partly for Christmas, partly for a birthday coming up. So it's not a bad thing to sell. You can't ever look back and say, I should have held that, because that's not how it works. Remorse isn't going to get you anywhere. Look at holding the bags for these pumps and then selling them. If you have a birthday or a New Year celebration coming up, take some profits. Not going to do you any harm. You've dollar cost averaged in. If you've put money into Ethereum at $2,000 and it's now at $3,000, you're 50% up. Sell the 50% profit if you need the money. If you don't, sit on your hands and don't do anything. So to summarize then, it's not the best time to sell based on the charts. It's not the best time to sell based on the historical performance of crypto in the last 3 months of the halving year. It's not the best time to sell based on the fact that interest rates are coming down and Donald Trump has won the election. So nothing screams sell, but taking profits at every single stage of the bull run is not a bad strategy. And that's probably what I'm going to leave you with. If you want to take 5 or 10% off the table now, and in December, and in January, and in February, and in March, and if you want to dollar cost average out over the next 12 months, that is also not a bad strategy, okay? Previous video, I've told you, from the start to the end of the parabolic run, you have roughly 2 calendar months. So if it does start on the 1st of October next year, you will have all of October and all of November to get out. You have 8 to 9 weeks. It's not a case of you wake up one morning and I am screaming sell at you. You have time, but you don't have to do it in that 2-month period. You could do it in a 6-month period. You could start it in May or June next year and finish in December next year. Entirely up to you, but make a plan. And if you are thinking of taking some profits off the table now, feel free to do it. If you take 10% off now and the market pumps, you won't feel too bad. But if you take 10% off the table now and we do get rejected at some of these prices and we do come down, then you can get in at lower prices for Bitcoin, you can get in lower prices for Ethereum and Solana and the likes. But remember also what I said, if your bags are packed in the solid projects that haven't pumped yet as well, what are people going to buy when Bitcoin tops out? They're going to look at the solid projects. They're not going to look at meme coins. They're going to look at ADA, they're going to look at XRP, they're going to look at Solana, obviously Ethereum, they're going to look at AVAX, all of those kind of coins. So stay safe. Thank you for watching and have a great Sunday.